Hello traders, welcome back to this weekly Forex forecast, and this is EURUSD. We are back to EURUSD to continue from where we stopped the last week. As you can see, the EURUSD has given us a drop upon hitting this resistances here. This was a previous resistance. As you can see, this has been a previous resistance. This one here was a previous resistance, and that is where the drop began from. As you can see, this drop here coincided with the 200 moving average. Alright, this was a 200 moving average, and it has offered a form of resistance here. By marking these three resistance levels that has continued, where I have this horizontal line. So what I'm saying is that this moving average, 200 moving average, will continue to slide down, holding this pair at these levels of drop. So what I'm saying in this coming week is that the EURUSD will still make some drop. It will have a little pullback to the upside, then it will now drop. So we are expecting a drop in the EURUSD in the coming week. Alright, let us see in the other time frame what is actually happening. Alright, let's see what is happening in the other time frame. As you can see, I've told you that our bias is going to be to the downside, so we are going to be looking for our sell options on this USD. Alright, so don't expect any major move up. So we are going to have some kind of a pullback towards the upside thereafter. We're expecting this drop to continue. Alright, let me see. And this is the weekly time frame that I've just shown you. Now let's look at the daily time frame. And the daily time frame is in this order. The daily time frame is where we take our major bias for every trading day, every trading week. As you can see on the daily time frame, there has been a massive drop to the downside, and this drop is most likely going to continue. As you can see, it hits this resistance here, then it began to drop to the downside. So we shall be positioning ourselves for more drop, but don't forget there's going to be a slight pullback to the upside. Let's see the appearance of the lower time frame still. This is the lower time frame. Let's go to 4 hours charts. So this is the 4 hours charts. It's looking quite interesting. You can see it has reversed on these resistance levels, this particular resistance area. Now, as you see, resistance is a zone. It's not one price level that is a resistance. The whole of this area is the resistance level. The whole of this area, with some slight measurement to the upside, is the resistance level, and has reversed on that area, and it's coming down. So expect this drop to continue before all of that, because of the positioning of this 3 moving average is going to support a push up, a little bit of push up, then before the drop will continue, and that drop is going to eventually crash into the moving average. Alright, So what are we expecting to see? I want to see any move of this nature, any move towards this region. I want to see a form of movement. I want to see a form of movement that will appear in this form. This is what I'm expecting to see. Any movement, an attempt to push to the upside, which eventually turn to a downwards movement into this region. Maybe from this region, I will expect to see a movement back again to the upside. So if you're a weekly trader, I want you to position for a downward move. This pair is not yet mature to trade, to have a massive trade to the upside. I will expect this movement to call first, then this wave will come towards this region, anywhere around this region. Mind you, this movement, this downward move is going to be at least nothing less than 100 pips. 100 pips, so you know what that means. So you should not trade the upside for now. Allow that corrective structure to form before you begin to pursue your trade to the upside again. Alright, this is EURCAD, Euro Canadian dollar, and it's looking quite interesting. As you can see, this is making for a good sell from what I'm seeing. Between here and here, a head and shoulder has been formed. A head and shoulder chart pattern has been formed and completed. Look at it here, and then look at it here. So when you look at this, when you take this impulsive leg, it has gone up and then come down. And as you can see, this head and shoulder pattern normally make for a good sell. So there's an attempt for this chart to continue to rise up from this point onto here. Then a resistance was formed and the bar came down with a very strong bearish candle. And this point here, this line has served as various forms of resistance in the past, and the resistance has held by the formation of this bearish pattern that you can see here. It has continued to serve as a resistance. Look at it here. It was a resistance. It was a resistance here. It was a resistance at this point. So this is a very strong resistance level, and the resistance has held by the formation of this bear candle, a very elephant bear candle, which shows that the bears are definitely in the market. Alright, so what I can see is this pair is actually going down. I have a moving average here. On this center here, I have the 200 moving average. This is the 200 moving average that you can see here. The 200 moving average. 200 moving averages. This 200 moving average is at this center here, which form a support here. But this bearish breakout candle has taken the 200 moving average down. The 200 moving average has failed to serve as a support for this pair. So you can see the trend line I drawn here. This is a supportive trend line, and this trend line has been taken out by this bearish breakout candle. So what I see definitely is a bearish momentum on the go. So there is no way to buy this pair at all. All I can see is sell. But what do we do? I will expect this pair to rise a bit. We cannot sell this pair immediately. We will allow it to rise a bit at this to this point. This point, I'm expecting to see something like this. We allow this pair to rise from this point to this point. Then before we begin to sell, so we can safely sell at 1.46169. That's the price that will be most suitable to sell, so that you make your gain immediately. I don't want a situation whereby you be in loss, then before you now, change to profit within a period of time. If you sell from this point, you will expect to be in profit immediately. So we will allow this pair to discount itself a bit by rising up from this point. We can now sell. You can actually place a pending order here. You can place a pending order, a sell limit pending order here, so that once this pair rises to this point, your sell order will be activated. And as it's activated, within a short period of time, you see yourself being in profit, and we expect our take profit level to be anywhere around the nearest support, the nearest strong support, and it can be at this level. You can take it at this level. So if we, let's see what is happening in the 4 hours chart. All right, we are going to see what is happening on the 4 hours chart. All right. Let me go to the 4 hour chart and see what is actually happening there. So my 4 hours chart is actually loading. I want to see the appearance of the 4 hour chart and see it's all the same thing. Let me see. Let me draw a trend line here. We're getting this resistance levels. I'm seeing a pattern here. All right, you see this point where this trend line passes, it has served as a resistance. In the past, they are all resistance levels. At this point, the resistance became a support, and then the pair moved off. So this is what I would call a fake breakout. It broke out of this trend line to the upside. You would expect it to keep rising towards the top, but a resistance was formed here by the appearance of the 200 moving average, and this resistance is what is still pushing the pair. From this point, the 200 moving average served as a strong resistance, pushing this pair down, and this pair has actually gone down, breaking this trend line that I have here. This trend line is from the daily chart. This trend line that you can see here, this pair has taken it out, and as I have told you before, when a support level is broken, that support level tends to be resistance. So I will expect this pair to continue its bearish momentum. But in the time being, I will expect something like this to occur, a situation whereby this pair moves into this trend line again, and then it goes down. So we will expect the pair to go down, and then we will take our profit. Well, let me go back to the daily chart. All right, I'm going back to the daily chart. I want to go back to the daily chart and see what is happening there. So let me see what I will do in the daily chart. this is my daily chart here. So my daily chart still looking quite interesting. So where I'm looking for where should be my take profit level. I think I wouldn't mind to put my take profit here. This can be your first take profit level. Then you can expect this pair to come at least to come into this level, and you should be able to make at least 150 pips of profit from this trade alone. So expect to make your good profit if you are ready to trade EURCAD. So bearish is our bias for EURCAD. Alright. This is AUDUSD on a weekly chart. AUDUSD. I have here a trend line. I also have here another trend line. I will explain to you what I did here. And this is the motive of my analysis. You can see here there's a very strong resistance area here. On this trend line, there's a strong resistance area here. And here too, there is a strong resistance area. And there's a strong if you look at it, you see that this pair has failed to break out of this trend line. And most likely this trend line is going to cause a form of pullback. So I will expect a pullback based on this trend line. And for this reason, our temporal bias is going to be on the bearish side. I will expect a form of pullback resulting from this trend line. And this is another trend line that I have here, a supportive trend line of this pair from the downside to the upside. Here is a support, here is a support, and then it continues. And it's also, I know when a support is broken out from becomes a resistance. Alright, so this bearish momentum here took out this trend line, and then it's gone back to that trend line again. So there's a retest of this trend line here. So what I will expect is, this juncture here, there's going to be a pullback, a form of a downward movement. So that is what I'm expecting. But how long is this downward movement going to continue? That is a question that is begging an answer. But I'm going to tell you the plan for this trade. There's a plan. You can trade any pair, provided you have a plan to trade that pair and you can trade it profitably. So what I'm going to do now is I will expect a temporal movement to the downside based on this trend line. Then after that, there will be a continuation of the bullish momentum of this pair. Okay, so you can actually make money both on the downside move and also on the upward move. Let's see what is happening on the other time frame. Let's look at the daily time frame and and consummate our bias. All right. This is the daily time frame, and it's also looking similar. All right. The daily time frame is looking quite interesting. So let's see what we have here. All right, you can see on this point here, this pair has actually failed to break out of this particular resistance area. It's a very enormous hitches here. The resistance here on this pair is so much that it cannot easily break out of this pair. So what I'm going to see is anything that will cause this pair to actually be resisted. So on this, if I take this impulsive leg the way it is. See, I've drawn here a Fibonacci retracement. So I'm expecting this pullback to go to Fibonacci retracement of 23.6 based on this impulsive leg. So, and that is this point here. That's what I'm expecting, a form of Fibonacci retracement to this point. So if that is done, then now we expect the continuation of the upward move. So I'm going to trade this pair in this form. Now we expect to see something of this nature. A situation whereby this pair is going to move down to this point. Thereafter, another bullish candle will form here and then take this pair back to the upside. So if you trade from here, from this point here to this point, you should be aiming around 100 pips or 110 pips of profit. So you can trade it down and end that profit to the downside. Thereafter, you begin to build momentum to switch to the bullish side from this point. So you enter your buy around this point. A Fibonacci retracement of 20.6. That means a pullback to about 50% of this leg from here. A pullback of around 50% or thereabouts. So you build the momentum to the upside. So we expect the pair to begin to sluggishly build up momentum to the upside from this point. And at a certain point, it's going to take off with high impulsive nature back to the upside. All right. So that's what I'm expecting. So if you are prepared to trade this pair, I wish you luck, and then just trade it with confidence, and then look for a candle. Read your candlestick very well and know when it is the right time to place your either buy or sell. But I've told you the bias is temporal bias is to the downside, while a more permanent bias is going to the upside. So you trade when it traces around half of this leg here, then you begin to look for your buy signal, and any candle that indicates a bullish reversal will make for a good buy, taking it to the upside. On my subsequent video, I'm going to make a video of candlestick. I'm going to teach you about different kinds of candlestick that you can recognize and know when it's time for you to enter your trade, or when it's the time to stay out of the market based on candlestick knowledge alone. So expect video very soon on candlestick. Alright, make sure you subscribe to this channel so that when we drop another video that we explain everything about candlestick, you will actually get notification concerning that. Alright, this is USDCAD. This is another interesting pair that is always going to give you quick profit anytime, any day, if you trade it properly. From what I'm seeing here, the chart is set up in different ways. You can actually make a buy trade as well as a sell trade based on what I'm seeing on this chart. From this trend line that I have here is a trend line that has served as a resistance and support in the past. So looking at this trend line, by the way, this is USDCAD on the daily chart. All right. So from what I have on this trend line, it has served as a resistance level. It has also served as a resistance, and it served as a support. And these supports held in the past and moved up and then we are now back to that same support area. What does that tell you? That is a very interesting point. All of these points that I've marked, they are all interesting points. It's a support level. I'm expecting this pair to actually fall what I would call a, a double bottom. This is already a bottom here. I'm expecting another bottom here that will be formed. So if that being the case, I will expect a buy trade around this region that you are seeing here. I will expect a buy region, a buy trade here. And I have also another trend line here. This trend line is a horizontal. It's not. It's a horizontal, line, a horizontal support line, not a trend line. Anyway, it's a horizontal line, a horizontal support I've drawn here. And from here, this is a support. Here is a support. Here is also a support from here, minor support, and then support. The whole of this area, this line has been serving as a support. So this region here, this region from this area down to this point is serving as a support, and is supported by this trend line here. This trend line here is going to serve as also a support. This support will push this pair up. So this support, this trend line, and the horizontal support is not going to be ignored. And the trend line and the horizontal support has formed an intersection here. So we are expecting a push up to the upside from this support zone. So what is that going to tell you? You can trade this pair up. You can trade it up to around around 130 pips. So you can trade it from here. Alright, if you trade it from this region around this point, then you will now begin to make your sell. Alright, so if you can trade from here, that will be just fine. Trade from here to this point, then you begin to actually look for your sell. So I would expect a movement to this point, then a downward movement. Alright, so that is what I'm going to expect to see. And move to this point. From this point, begin to see another downward movement. So based on the distance from this point to this point, it's almost 120 to 130 pips. It's a good profit if you trade it correctly. So you can look for a buy trade. You can make this. You can immediately enter a buy trade from this point, this zone here. Anywhere around this zone, enter your buy trade. Then take your profits on the nearest resistance. This is going to be your nearest resistance area. So you take your profit here, and immediately you reverse here and begin to look for your sell. If you can see any candle of this nature, maybe a candle that tended to break out, and at the same time it was unable to break out, such as a bearish such as a form of topping tail bar, which I can also call a bearish pin bar. So such candle, a candle that looks like what I've just drawn here, then you can enter a set trade, and that set trade is going to break out of this low at that point. So the momentum built here, we take it to break out of this support area. So that will make for a massive, sell, which is going to be a very profitable trade if you handle it properly. So that is what I'm seeing on this USDCAD. USDCAD, the momentum on USDCAD is always high once, especially during the US session, during the New York session. So you expect USDCAD to begin to trade with a very high velocity. And if you are on the right side of the trade, you will expect to make your quick profits, to begin to make profit as quick as possible and take your profits. All right. So we are going for a buy at this moment. Thereafter, around this region, by that time, this moving average must have begin to slow down, and this 200 moving average must have begin to come down towards this point. So to meet up with the resistance area here. So that is what I'm seeing on this trade. Moving on, this is USDCHF, and it's quite interesting also. I have here a channel which I've drawn already. So this channel, I see prices are respecting this channel. If you look at this trend line, it's also a trend line before it became a channel. On this trend line, here is a support, here is a resistance, here is also a resistance area, and this channel, every area that this trend has passed through, the price has always reacted here, and the price continued to react and respect it, and here became a form of support, and here there's so much reaction on this trend. So that is, and here the price could not go past the trend line, and before it reversed and went down, and now we are at the downward part of the channel. The trend line at the downside has made it to form a channel. Then from there, there's been support to this point, and this support also was recognized here. You see a form of pin bar here has formed, and the peg will be reversed to the upside. So what we are expecting is that overall on this chart, we have a downtrend overall, but this downtrend can be traded as well to the upside. All right. So as intelligent traders, you are supposed to be able to trade both ways. So what I'm seeing on this particular USDCHF is a trade to the upside, thereafter a trade to the downside based on this channel position. So this is USDCHF on the daily time frame. Okay, so we are going to be expecting something of this nature to play itself. A situation whereby from this channel it will move up all the way to the end of this channel, then before it begin to move down and down again to the supportive area of this pair. So the higher trade is to the downside, while the average or moderate bias is to the upside. So we can actually trade this pair both ways. So this region here is our region of buy for this pair. We are buying from this region to the end of this channel. All right. We are now on gold. This is gold on the daily time frame, and as you can see, the gold has made tremendous move to the upside. Look at this candle here. It's quite interesting. From this region, they push this candle all the way up. This is purely the action of institutions. They needed to take their profit, and that is why they pushed this candle all the way up. And immediately they took their profit on the buy side. This pair started to drop. The gold started to drop and has been dropping until it met up with the 50 moving average. From this 50 moving average, it's now started to move up again, and it has been moving up, rolling up gradually to the upside, and it seems this pair has slowed a bit. XAUUSD, that is gold, it has slowed a bit for this moment, and it's continued to move up gradually, building momentum. So this pair is actually a pair that you can make a good, a hell of profit if you understand how to trade it appropriately. So it's a pair that moves very fast at any point in time, and scalpers also love to scalp it, but you will not expect to make profit except you master the use of candlestick very well, and you master how chart patterns are formed. So from what I'm seeing on my chart, this chart is a chart that is designed to support the bullish momentum. So this chart I'm seeing here is actually a bullish setup. Is making for a bullish move. So look at the 3 moving average I have here. They are all below this the price level, and they are giving support to the price to continue to move to the upside. But in order to make good profit on gold, you need to know when is the right time to buy and when is the right time to sell. You can make profit based on the buy side and based on the sell side. Imagine if somebody has placed a sell trade around this region. You would have made serious profit from this region to this point. A very big profit you would have made, especially if you are trading with a big lot size. That would be thousands and thousands of dollars you would have made. So now for small traders, for retail traders, your own is to just make profit that will be sufficient to actually take care of yourself and your needs. You are not like those trading with millions and millions of dollars. All right, but you can make profit anyway with any amount, depending on the the skills you bring into trading and the carefulness with which you execute your trade. So what I'm saying is, at the moment, they will continue to be rolled by, so this pair will continue to slowly move down and down, and the reason being that the hedge funds and money managers, including banks and institutions, are positioning themselves for the second round of profits. So now as they are positioning themselves, this pair will continue to roll down. You will think that the pair has reversed, but that's not the case. It hasn't reversed because the hedge funds and money managers are actually building up on the buy side. They have increased their net long position. From market intelligence, I can tell you they have increased their net long positions, building up on Comet's gold. And as far as we will continue to hear bad news around the world, different parts of the globe, from Ukraine to Israel to Hamas, Palestine. So as far as this news continue to show, including the news from North Korea about the development of their nuclear missile and their threats to strike South Korea with their nuclear, arsenal. As far as you continue to hear those news, gold will keep on moving up and up. So what I'm expecting at this moment in time is that the pair will slightly move down. After it has moved down, then it will begin to move up massively again. So I'm expecting a situation where this pair will actually roll down to this point. It will continue to slide down, and begin to gather momentum on this region again to the upside. This is what I'm expecting. By then, I'm expecting this moving average to continue to move up, at the point where this moving average are now close to the candlesticks here. That is when the maturity of this trade will actually build up. All right, but for the moment, you can trade both. You sell and buy at the same time. You can enter a sell trade and scalp it take a quick, especially using the lower time frames, such as the 1 hour time frame, 30 minutes or 15 minutes, and look for a candlestick setup that indicates a sell, you sell and then make money. By the time on the higher time frame you see this setup, I'm showing you a situation whereby this candle will now roll down and fail to break beyond this point, and these moving averages, I have the 50, 100 and 200 moving average must have moved close to this region. That is where you can actually enter massively for a buy, and it is going to actually coincide with the close to the end of the year rally. So we are expecting end of the year rally, whereby the money managers, the hedge funds, banks, institutions are going to take their last profit for the year. They are going to push this, pump this pair again, they will pump it to the upside, then take their profit for the year. So then what you see is a situation whereby it will look as if this pair is going to break down, as if the pair has completely reversed. At this point in time, it will build up momentum again and then fly up to the upside. So that is good for you. Be prepared for it, and mind you, just arm yourself with the knowledge that the hedge funds and money managers are building momentum for the buy side and to close their profits for the year. So don't be deceived by any action that looks as if this pair is going to completely break down. It's not going, at a point in time, it's going to actually stop and reverse and pump to the upside. So that is exactly what you're going to see. If you are prepared to trade it with care, and then be prepared and watch your candlestick. Actually, you can also apply this 3 moving average that I've applied, and watch when the candles are going to be closer to this moving average, as the moving average continue to move up. So at this point, I will expect the trade to actually set up very well. All right. So if you want, you can actually put a trend line from here. So I expect this trend line to be supportive of our move. All right. So once you see this trend line, once you see price move closer to this trend line, you can actually take your buy trade and then make your profit. All right. Let's move now to the GBPUSD. This is the GBPUSD. The GBPUSD has also shown us some drop. As you can see on this very chart, that's giving us a drop. This is the weekly chart, by the way. And it has actually dropped based on this resistance, based on the resistance lines that I have here, and on this trend line has actually held. This was a fake breakout above the trend line, and it has shown as being a fake breakout. The thing still drop, the price still drop, and this is the latest price here that we have here, occurring at that level of the trend line. It has shown us a drop from this trend line. Let me show you something. You can see here was a resistance in the past. This area was a resistance in the past. That resistance has been there. And you can see on this area, this joint here was a resistance, and it corresponds to this resistance that we are having here. And that is where the trend line has passed through, and the drop has occurred on the same area. So there's a drop here. I know this is the weekly chart candle. This little drop you see here can be as much as 100 to 150 pips, or even more. So this one candle is not a small drop based on the weekly candle. Alright. Let me see what is happening in the lower time frame. Let's go to the lower time frame and see. Let's first go to the daily candle. This is the daily candle. As you can see, it's also shown us a good drop. This is the daily candle. This candle represents a whole day of trade. One full day of trade. So it has dropped at that level. And then we are still going to see the drop continue. We are perceiving that the drop is going to continue. So what are we seeing now? A continuation of this candle is what we are going to see in the coming week. So our bias is going to be, our weekly bias is going to be bearish. But based on this trend line that you are seeing here, by the time the drop gets to this level, then there will be a continuation of the upside. Based on the weekly and on the daily, for now, we are going to see a drop that will push us closer to these moving averages that we have here. Alright, let me now see what is happening in the other lower time frames. Alright, let's go to the lower time frame and see what is transpiring there. This is the 4-hour charts. That is looking good. From the lower time frame, you can see that this pair has made a move to the upside before dropping. It broke above this resistance here. And those that traded the upside from here must have made a good deal of money. And now the pair is dropping. So we see a situation where this pair is going to make more drop. But what will happen is that there will be a form of an attempt to push to the upside. Maybe any attempt of this nature will also be okay. There will be an attempt for the pair to recapture this resistance. So I see a form of retesting of the resistance. I would prefer to trade this pair once it makes the retest of these broken resistances. Now there is a breakout of this resistance by this impulsive move. So I will expect a push into this resistance area. Broken, as the pair goes back to it, becomes a previous support once broken becomes a resistance. So this previous resistance has been broken, and instead of it to offer support, the resistance once it is broken, becomes a support. So this resistance areas has been broken by this impulsive wave, and it fails to become a support. You can see that it has been broken down to the downside, and it has not become a support. It fails to hold this candle here. So what I will expect is a push into that area, and then a resistance will be created here. Then push to the downside. Or if you see any bearish candle around this level, get ready for your shot. Alright.